So by now, you've heard about the Titan submersible that imploded, killing all 5 of its passengers. Anyone wondering whether or not any criminal charges could be issued as a result of this? I'm about to explain whether or not that could happen right now. Hi, my name is Daniel M. Rosenberg, and I'm a criminal defense attorney and the founding partner of Rosenberg, Perry & Associates. It is also my goal and passion to provide information and education about the criminal justice system before people become involved and entrenched in the system. Now, because this happened on the water, this falls into an area of law called maritime law. And in full disclosure, I am not a maritime attorney, but I can certainly give you an analysis from a criminal defense attorney's perspective based on the known facts. So what are the known facts of the Titan submersible incident? Well, on June 18th, 2023, the Titan submersible launched from a Canadian-flagged ship in Canadian waters. The Titan was owned and operated by an American tourist company called OceanGate. There were 5 passengers on the Titan, including the CEO, Stockton Rush. The Titan was not certified by any third-party safety organization as seaworthy. The voyage was intended to go see the remains of the Titanic. An hour and 45 minutes into the voyage, the Titan lost all communication. Authorities were notified after the Titan failed to resurface at its scheduled time later that day. An investigation was conducted, and it was determined that the submersible imploded, with remains and debris being found approximately 1,600 feet away from the Titanic remains. Well, the first question is, what jurisdiction applies? More specifically, what law applies to this situation? So, in order to determine what law applies, there's a legal analysis that must be conducted. And the factors considered are, who owns the ship? Where did the incident take place? And where is the ship registered? Meaning, what flag does it fly? Now, registering your ship or vessel with a certain country comes with certain requirements. For instance, a ship that is registered in the US has requirements for safety, inspection, crew members. For instance, all crew members on a US ship must be from the United States. So in this case, the submersible is owned by OceanGate, an American company based in Washington State. The incident took place off of New Johns, Newfoundland in Canada, and it is my understanding that those are international waters. And there was no registration for this submersible. And that is because the preliminary reports are indicating that because the submersible was not launching from a port with passengers, it was not required to register with any country. It was deployed off a ship that was registered with Canada. But the fact that it wasn't registered brings up another point. If there's no registration requirement, are there any safety inspection requirements? Something we'll talk about soon. So ultimately, what law applies? That's going to be a legal analysis that's going to be argued by attorneys and ultimately decided by a judge. So assuming the analysis determines that this is a United States jurisdiction, United States law is going to apply, what charges are they looking at? Federal law would apply, and the seaman's manslaughter statute specifically would apply in this situation. It exposes criminal liability to the captain, the pilot, the engineer, anyone who inspected the submersible, owners of the ship, corporate management of OceanGate. The statute casts a wide net of who could be charged criminally, including OceanGate, the corporation. The conduct required is gross negligence and exposes anyone convicted to up to 10 years in a federal prison. So knowing that landscape, are criminal charges potentially going to be filed in this case? In order to determine whether or not there are going to be criminal charges, we really need to know all of the facts, which we don't right now. There's going to be an investigation and ultimately a conclusion as to how and why the submersible imploded. In addition to what happened on the date of this event, investigating agencies are also going to look into conduct leading up to the voyage. Specifically, was the submersible seaworthy? Was it safe to deploy? One thing that's going to be relevant is that there's been litigation filed against OceanGate by former employees claiming that the submersible was not safe for this voyage. If the CEO, the company, or anyone involved in this was aware that this was a risk and it is determined that this was gross negligence, they are exposed to criminal charges. All that being said, one of the most significant factors in this analysis is going to be whether or not this submersible is a vessel. If this is not a vessel, then the seaman's manslaughter statute does not apply. The submersible and its commercial use is relatively new. The analysis of whether or not the submersible is in fact a vessel is a novel issue, and there is debate among legal experts in the maritime community as to whether or not it is or it is not. So, if jurisdiction is deemed to be in the United States, and the conduct by either the CEO, the captain, or anyone really involved in this exuded gross negligence, they are exposed to a criminal charge of seaman's manslaughter, so long as the submersible qualifies as a vessel under the law. Lots of question marks and lots of uncertainty. So now you have an idea of what OceanGate and anyone involved may be facing if criminal charges are filed. There's a lot to unpack here, a lot of investigation that's going to continue. We're going to keep an eye on it and see how this unfolds. So if you or someone you know is involved in an event or action and you're concerned about whether or not there may or may not be criminal conduct, contact our office and schedule an appointment. We'll set up a time to meet and take the time we need to assess your situation and give you blunt and candid advice so that you can make the right decision for you moving forward. So if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any topics that you'd like to learn more about, please leave a comment or contact our office and let us know. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.